Isn't it amazing? This is the result, Nigel. You and I have never had it. It's called religious conversion. The Harry we have now is not the Harry we had then. This is not the Harry of the Invictus Games. Nobody, of course, seems to know Latin anymore, least of all poor Harry. Does he actually know what Invictus means? Invictus means undefeated, not a victim. What he did with those soldiers, shot up, abused, terrible injuries, deformed, defaced, he gave them the courage not to be victims.
Fantastic.
To go to the gym, to do something, to take control of their lives, to do what you did after a plane crash. What has he done now? He's been persuaded of the doctrine of woke and the doctrine of mental health. God help him. And it's like a religious conversion. Every value that this man believed in before is stood on its head. He has betrayed his entire past, and what we have now, we've got two Harrys. It is very much like Shakespeare, except that they're totally unreconciled. And whereas Shakespeare's Prince Hal abandons his bad side for his good, he's abandoned his good side for this new bad, whinging, wailing, destructive. Do you know what? I think we need a stronger word that you've been using. This man is a traitor to everything that he has believed in, to his family, to the monarchy, to the country, to his grandmother, to his father. We see what the problem is with the new gospel, the new heresy of woke and of mental well-being. It's a gospel which is purely of the self. It discards every other obligation.
Duty, service, all these concepts are gone.
All the things that were so exemplified by the late Queen, and instead you have this vortex of self-absorption. But you know what, Nigel? What struck me about the whole thing was everything is so bloody petty. You look at it. We had a dispute about a tiara, a bridesmaid's dress. Do you know what? My bedroom was smaller than my brother's. Look at this list of absolute trivia, which is, I mean, on the scale of human wrong, they're not even molehills. They're barely specks of dust. And they're not transformed into mountains. They're transformed into mountain ranges, Himalayas, lunar structures. I mean, the sheer, finally, silliness, the self-destructiveness. Do you know what? What I feel, I don't know what you feel, I feel contempt.
Once the nation's beloved prince, now his own worst enemy. Dr. David Starkey doesn't hold back, and this time his warning for Prince Harry is brutal. The historian says the Duke is destroying himself, and no royal PR spin can hide the truth. Tonight we're diving deep into Starkey's searing analysis, and what it really means for the future of the Sussexes. It's almost tragic when you think about it. Prince Harry, once admired as the brave soldier prince, Diana's proud son, has become, as Starkey puts it, a man who's throwing away everything that made him special. Dr. Starkey argues that Harry's endless victim narrative has become self-destructive. The constant attacks on his family, the media, and the monarchy have left him isolated. And in doing so, he's not hurting the royals as much as he's hurting himself. He says Harry's transformation isn't just sad, it's pathetic. A man consumed by resentment, unable to move forward, chained to a sense of grievance that's eating away at him. Dr. Starkey is known for being fearless with words, and he doesn't sugarcoat it. He says Harry is now a celebrity casualty, desperately clinging to relevance through controversy. According to Starkey, Harry's interviews, memoir, and public outbursts show a man without purpose, without dignity, and without understanding of the institution that made him. He compares Harry's behavior to a self-inflicted wound. Every time he speaks, he digs the knife in deeper. You can't claim to despise the monarchy, Starkey says, while profiting off its image. And that contradiction, he warns, will destroy Harry's credibility entirely.
Yes, I have no sympathy whatsoever. I think we've directed much of our ire at Meghan over the course of the last couple of years. I think he really is the problem. It's he that's betrayed his family. And you're suggesting, David, that in more robust times, the Tower of London might have been suitable.
Well, in more robust times, it wouldn't have been knocked into a dog bowl. It would have been drowned in a butt of Malmsey wine. Which is but again, if you look at the House of York, it's exactly the same thing. It's a dispute between brothers.
Yeah.
And again, what's come out of all of this is a sort of simmering teenage resentment. We've suddenly got those fights on the back seat of the royal limousine, transformed, played in front of us, reenacted with added bitterness. And I do think, actually, I'm sorry, I do think, Meghan, when people convert, I've described this as a process of conversion, there is somebody who converts. There is no doubt it's she. She has acted as his priestess into this new, absurd Californian religion.
Yeah.
But what I think we should all be doing, we should be seeing what the risk of the Americanization, I mean, sorry, I know you're a bit of a Trumpy, but the terrible risk of the Americanization of British public life and thought. You're sucked into this. It's a veil of despond. It proclaims it makes you well. It makes you sick.
And feelings,
sick and
feelings
sick.
matter more than facts, and
Feelings,
all of these things.
my truth matters more than the truth.
No, I get that.
It's utter self.
Starkey also touches on the elephant in the room, Meghan Markle's role in all of this. He believes Harry has been swept up in her American-style celebrity culture, where emotion replaces duty and drama becomes a brand. He calls it the Hollywood trap. The more the Sussexes chase fame, the emptier their message becomes. What began as a mission for compassion has turned into a commercial circus, and Starkey says Harry doesn't even realize it. He's no longer the grounded, loyal Prince Britain once knew. He's become, as Starkey harshly puts it, a parody of his mother's legacy, and the joke's on him. Dr. Starkey's words carry weight. This isn't tabloid talk. He's reminding Harry of something deeper, that legacy matters. And once it's destroyed, it can't be rebuilt. He says Harry has turned his back on centuries of royal heritage. And for what? Netflix deal. A podcast that fizzled out. The fleeting headline. In Starkey's eyes, Harry's legacy is crumbling faster than he realizes.
Destruction.
So the question is, what should be done, if anything? We know that the palace have thus far maintained their own dignified silence, and Cameron Walker speculating maybe they should answer. The trouble is, if they answer 15 charges, 30 more will be laid at their door.
And they're all so trivial.
Yeah.
The point is, you get yourself into a dispute. There's a good principle of law, de minimis.
Yeah.
Don't dispute about nothing.
Yeah.
These are nothings. I think the silence is correct for the very simple reason nobody is destroying Harry more effectively than Harry.
That is true.
Every time he gives an interview, now, of course, he contradicts himself because the religious conversion isn't quite complete. And every so often, the honest old Harry pops up and says, but actually, me grandma were a terrible racist. I rather like Susan Hussey. And so the religious conversion isn't complete. There's still the perfectly decent, not very bright boy, a bit physical, who used to be sorted out by the army, and suddenly, do you know what?
Well,
he's married his mother.
Yeah, and he's lost the army as well,
And
because
he's lost
that was
the army.
because that was his second family, and I think they're disgusted, and we've got some distinguished army personnel coming on later on in this hour. David, he's fifth in line to the throne. He has trashed the country, the monarchy, the Commonwealth, his grandmother's great lasting achievement. Is it time for that position to be removed? Should he be sacked?
No, because it would give him more attention than he deserves. He will naturally just fade away. This is old soldiers, never used to die, they just fade away. Harry isn't as much an old soldier, he is perpetually declining in the order of succession. Why give them the satisfaction of the attention? Why? Do you know, the only way, again, can I just explain? The only way you can actually remove the title of Duke of Sussex is by an act of Parliament.
Yes.
Do we really want to go through that? This is, it is the proverbial sledgehammer for a walnut, for this tiny little ginger nuts, I'm afraid. I know this is a family show, but I mean, wouldn't we all actually like to crack the ginger nuts with a sledgehammer?
The trouble is the sledgehammer might miss the nut.
Well, it wouldn't if I were directing it. But no, I don't think it's worth it. I think it would make a lot of us feel better, but it would be foolish. I think that for once, the palace is doing absolutely the right thing. It's letting him stew in his own juice.
Well,
and that juice will get bitterer, it will get hotter and more destructive.
And the saddest part? The king, the Prince of Wales, and even the late Queen all tried to guide him. But as Starkey puts it, Harry stopped listening when he started talking. Every family can forgive, but history? That's another story. Starkey warns that once the public decides a prince has become a spectacle, there's no turning back. Harry may have already crossed that line. He's now a cautionary tale, a man who traded duty for drama, substance for spotlight. And as Starkey says, you can't heal when you keep reopening the wound. Dr. David Starkey's message is loud and clear. Harry isn't just losing public sympathy, he's losing himself. The tragedy isn't in what he said about his family, it's in what he's become. Do you agree with Starkey? Has Harry truly destroyed his own image? Or is there still time for him to recover what's left of his legacy? Let me know your thoughts below. Subscribe for more royal revelations, expert breakdowns, and fearless commentary, because the truth always deserves a voice.